Welcome to Torah portion of Balak. We are the fourth reading for the fourth day of the week. We continue with the story. And now the story is of Bilam coming to Balak, the prophet Bilam coming to the king of Moab, Balak. And now the story continues with what will turn from curses to blessings. Bilam and Bilam went in Balak together with Balak. Kiryas Chutzais. And they arrived to Kiryas Chutzais, which it's a name of a place, but city of streets, as Rashi says in 39, verse 39. Rashi. City. Yeah. Chutzais. Ir Malaya Shvakim. It's a city full of marketplaces, streets. Anashim Anashim Ataf, men, women, and children. The Chutzai Seha, that are in his outdoor plazas. They didn't have indoor malls back then. Laimar, as if to say, Reicham, and have mercy, Shalo Yakru Elo, that these should not be uprooted. As he's showing them, look at this, look at these people, men, women, and children. They're out and about, they're living life. Hey, have compassion on them. Bilam, curse the Jews because the Jews want to uproot all of this. That's what's implied. That's what's implied, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yizbak Balak Bakar Vitzoin Balak. He slaughtered cattle and sheep. Yishalach leBilam, and he sent to Bilam l'sarim asher itai, and to the dignitaries that were with him. Bakar Vitzoin Davar Muat.
We wine and dine them.
A small amount, only one bull and one sheep.
Yeah, but I guess why would he give them a small amount if he's trying to?
Not certain, because the term bakar v'tzayin can mean one, or can mean also multitude. No, it's in Hebrew, you don't use there is no plural to it, right? There is no plural. So, but I'm not clear how Rashi gets this, that it's not that it's only a small number, only one of each. Anyway, I'm not clear on that. Okay, number 41. And it was in the morning, V'yikach Balak, and Balak took Bilam, he took Bilam v'yalehu, and he brought him up Bamais to a high place, to a platform, to a high place. Bamais Baal, to the Baal. Well, let's see, Rashi's going to explain. The Yar Misham Ktsei Ha'am, and he saw there the end of the people, meaning he saw part of the people, meaning the Jewish people, referring to, right? So he gave him a good view of them. Rashi, Bamais Baal. So Bamais means like a high place. Baal, Zaki Targuma, Yonkelis explains it. The Ramas de Chalte, a high place of his deity, because Baal is one of the false deities of Moab. Shem Avodah Zorah, it's a name, Baal is a name of idolatry, of an idol. Okay, we go to chapter 23, verse 1. Ayema Bilam el Balak, and Bilam said to Balak, B'nei li bazeh shiva mizbachos, build for me in this 7 altars, v'hochin li, and prepare for me bazeh with this shiva parim 7 bulls, shiva elim, and 7 rams. All right. So he wanted to be cheap. Now he's making him it's going to cost him.
Yeah.
It's going to cost, right? Chaim, Chaim. No, they weren't stupid. They're just evil. Yeah. Okay. Bias Balak, and Balak did kasher diber Bilam, as Bilam spoke. Bial Balak, and he offered. He brought up O Bilam par la'ayel hamizbeach, a bull and a ram on each altar. 3. Yomer Bilam LaBalak, and Bilam said to Balak, Hisyatziv al secha. Hisyatziv means to stand by the burnt offering. Be'elcha, and I will go, Ula Yikara Hashem, perhaps Yikara, it will happen. Hashem likrosi, to call me. Udvar ma, and he'll show me something. Yareni, sorry, Dvar ma Yareni, something he will show me. Yareni, he will show me. Okay, for those who are following in their prefixes and suffixes. Vihigadeti lach, and I will tell you. Ve'elach shefi, and he went alone. Rashi in 3. Yeah?
Yeah.
Follow me? We're good, everybody? Ula yikar Hashem likrosi. Perhaps Hashem's going to happen upon me and call me. Happen to call upon me. Right? I'm not usual to speak to him by day. Remember, we learned this before. God comes to him only by night because he's an evil prophet. Vayelach shefi. So that should be understood. Kitarguma, according to Unkelis' understanding, yechidi, mean he went alone. Lashon shoifi. It's a language of stillness, v'sheket, like sheket b'vakasha, quiet. She'eni mo'yela shesika, there's nothing with him but silence, meaning as he went alone. Okay? Verse 4. Yikar Elokim. Yikar, he happened upon, chanced upon God, Bilam. He happened upon him. Chance meeting, so to speak. We'll see. Rashi will explain what that means, right? But that's the how we understand it, right? But Yomer 11, he said to him, as Shiva Hamiz B'chais. So now Bilam is saying to God, the 7 altars, Harachti, I have prepared, Va'al par, Va'al, and I brought up, meaning I offered, a par, a bull, the ayil, and a ram, B'mizbeach, on each of the altars. Rashi in 4. Okay. V'yikar. So God happened upon him. Lashon Harai, it's an expression of like a temporary, not serious. Lashon Ganai. It's a shameful expression. Lashon too must carry. It's an expression that's used for impurity of a seminal discharge. That's to say, God appeared to him with hesitation and with disdain. And he did not appear to him by day, but he did in fact appear to Bilam but in order to show for the dearness of Israel. As he didn't reveal himself because he's dear to him that he wants to reveal himself to Bilam. No, he did it because of the dearness of the Jewish people. That's why he happened upon him by day. So, right, it's in other words, when something's dear to you, so you've prepared a week before, you're going to visit, I just brought to the early this morning, before we learned, I brought my daughter and grandson to the airport when I went back to California. And so, in their preparation to come, there's an endearment that, when you're thinking about it, you're preparing for your trip and so on. Right? As opposed to, oh, okay, just by chance, let's do something. That doesn't show the same endearment as that prepared it and you put thought and effort into it. So when God is coming to appear to him, it's without that thought and effort, without that endearment. Right. And the only reason he did it by day is in order to show the endearment to the Jewish people. Shivas HaMizbachos, 7 altars. Shiva Mizbachos Arachti, I arranged 7 altars. And Ksivkan is not written here. Ella Shivas HaMizbachos. The 7 altars. Amar Lafana, Bilam said before God, Avisehem Shalelu, the forefathers of the Israelites, Banu Lefanecha, they built before you, Shiva Mizbachos, 7 altars. Vani Arachti, and I prepared altars, Kenege Kulam, corresponding to all of them. Avram Bana Arba, Avram built 4 times altars. As it's written, Vayiven Sham Mizbech Lashem Anira Elav, Vayatik Misham Ahara, Ve'alim Avram, Echa Bahara Maria, and one was Bahara Maria. So 4 times Avram. He just showed the verses of where he made altars to God. Yitzchak ban Echad. Yitzchak built 1 time an altar. As it says, Vivin Sham Mizbeach. Yaakov ban Shnayim, and Yaakov built 2 times. Echa b'Shchem, 1 in Shchem, Echa b'Beis Kel, and by when the dream by the ladder and the angels going down and up. So that equals 7. So he said, look at me, I equaled all of them.
Yeah.
Right? And I brought up a bull and a ram on the altar. And Avram only brought 1 single ram by the binding of Isaac. Right? And I brought 7. So, if you want to do any comparison here, no comparison. Look how great I am. Yasem Hashem David Bifi Bilam, and Hashem placed something before Bilam. And he said, Shuv el Balak v'koisedaber. Return to Balak, and so you shall speak. Yashev Elav, and so he returned to him. And Balak was standing over the burnt offering. Together, he and all of the Moabite dignitaries, the princesses, right? And he took up a parable. Bilam now is going to give a parable.
Which is from Hashem.
Which is from Hashem, exactly. And he said, Mi Aram Yan Cheni. Yan Cheni Balak Melech Moab. Min Aram, from Aram. Aram's a place. Yancheni, he led me. I guess that Aram must be where he came from. He led me, Balak, the king of Moab. Mihare Kedem, from the mountains of the east. Kedem means before. The east is before the west, right?
Yeah, it is.
Right, so that's the root word. It means before. Sunrise before there. L'cha arali. So he brought me, right, through the mountains of the east, saying, curse for me, Yaakov, Jacob, U'lecha zema Israel, and invoke wrath upon Israel. Huh? Yaakov and Israel. Yeah, 2 names of the Jewish people. Huh?
Zima is wrath.
Yeah. Zo'oma. Rashi, Arali Yaakov, curse for me Yaakov, v'lachal zema Israel, and give and invoke wrath upon Israel. B'shnei Shemaisehem, the 2 names Amor lekalam, he said to curse them. Shema echad mehem eno muvag. Maybe one of them is not a distinctive special name. So, use both names, what they're known by. So this is what he said. Ma ekod. How can I curse? Loika bakel. Bilam is saying, how can I curse? God didn't curse. Well, my ezim, and how could I invoke wrath? Loizam, and he's not angry. Hashem is not angry. Rashi and 8. Yeah?
Yep.
Are good?
Yes.
Rashi, how can I curse and God is not cursed? When they were fit to be cursed, and they were not cursed. Right. Now there were times that they were supposed to be cursed, and they were fitting to be cursed, and they weren't. When their forefathers mentioned their sin, he said, Ki ba'apam harguish. For their rage they killed a man, and he cursed nothing but their rage. Remember when Shimon and Levi, they killed in Shechem, right? When they defiled Dinah, their sister. So the two brothers went and killed all the, Hamor and everybody in Shechem, right? Told them to make a bris and so on. So when Yaakov told them off, rebuked them, he didn't rebuke them, he rebuked their anger. So he's saying, how can I rebuke that? Even when Yaakov, when he rebukes his children, he doesn't rebuke them, he rebukes only their anger.
You're a bad boy, you say you did something bad.
Yeah, I mean, that was something we learned from there. But here he's bringing out the idea that they didn't get cursed. You did something wrong. You curse out the guy. No, they didn't get cursed. They got, their anger. Not even their deed was cursed. Not even with their deed. It's the anger, right? That there was a rage, right? So he cursed nothing but their rage. Shenemar says, Arapam, as Yaakov on his deathbed, when he gave the blessings to his children, so when it came to Shimon and Levi, he said that his cursed is their anger. And cursed is they, right?
Yeah.
Or even their actions.
So he's saying, how can I curse those people when God hasn't cursed them?
Or Yaakov didn't do it in the name of God, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And when their forefather Yaakov deceitfully entered a Tel Aviv by his father, it was fitting that he should be cursed, right? He took the blessings. His father should have cursed him. It was fitting. But what does it say? He will be blessed. Yeah. For those who are to stand to bless, it says, and these will stand to bless the people. But those who stand to curse, it does not say that these will stand to curse the people. Rather, it says these will stand for the curse. Because God did not wish to mention the term curse over the Jewish people. So, in other words, even later on in Deuteronomy and in Dvarim, when before Moshe passes away, and he's now speaking about when they're by Har Evel, the Har Grizim, and there was on one side, those who stood with the blessing and those stood with the curse. So it wasn't that they stood to curse the Jewish people when they don't do the will of God, is that they stood for the curse, not giving the curse. So in other words, what Rashi is showing is that what Bilam is saying, look, there hasn't been invoked upon them, or it will not be, and wasn't in the past, and won't be in the future, because the story with Yaakov is the past story of what's going to happen. When Moshe passes away, that's in the future. But it isn't ever invoked. It's interesting why Rashi would bring the future. How do we understand? How does Bilam, I guess, maybe prophetically knew the future. I guess we have to say that, but why do we have to say that? Say the past, but Yaakov, okay. Why say the future is a question. Yeah, you understand my question?
Yeah.
Because where it says these that who stand to bless the people, that's in Deuteronomy, right? That's later.
So this isn't just Rashi bringing it out. Like, this is what Bilam was meant when he said, "How can I not curse them? How can I?"
Well, this is the reference, right? Yeah, when he says
Yeah.
he's saying, "How can I?" when God doesn't.
Yeah.
So this is the reference.
He knew like the specifics of the reasons.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
otherwise, what's
It
he
was
saying?
like a general
Otherwise,
order.
what's he saying? It's based on something,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We're not talking about a fool over here, or an evil
Yeah.
person. Doesn't mean you're a fool. And remember, he's a prophet, so he has a prophetic vision of these things, right? So I guess you have to say that he knew the future also, but why do you have to say that? But whatever. Okay, got it. Next Rashi in 8. Leizam Hashem, and Hashem has not been angry. Ani, as for me, my power is only that I know how to determine precisely that when God becomes angry, I can't make God angry, but I know when he is angry. So I can then bring the curse upon them, right?
At the right moment.
Who like us, and he has not been angry. All of these days, since I've come to you, he hasn't been angry. Right? And this is what it says, me, my people, please, what Bilam, remember what Bilam advised. I say Bilam, and what Bilam answered him. The mandat sidkis Hashem, in order that we should know the generosities of Hashem.
Is the righteous act of Hashem that he's not angry with the Jewish people during this time Bilam was ready to curse them or ask him to curse them?
Well, he's looking for the moment that God will be, but he's saying that I haven't found.
But is this verse after where it's saying, "My people, remember now when Balak king of Moab speaking what Bilam answered him, so that you might be aware of the righteous acts of the Eternal." Is the righteous act of the Eternal that he wasn't angry at that moment Bilam was looking for him to be angry?
Yeah. Yeah.
Does that mean if he had been angry at that moment, Bilam might have been able to do the curse or get?
Yeah, of course. That's the point.
Okay.
That he has the he has that power. Okay, number 9. Kimiroish tsurim arenu. I see them from the beginning of them, from their beginning. Tsurim arenu. I see the mountain peaks. Omigbois ashurena, and I behold the hilltops. Hein am levadav yishkai. spoke about this is Hein behold, a nation Levadav alone, Yishkoin, they dwell. Uvagoyim leis chashav, and with the nations they do not reckon. Right. This is what the Rebbe said to Rabin when he came to him in 1972. Right. He quoted this. It's the first thing saying about the Jewish people. This is really important to appreciate. And from its origins, from its beginnings, I see it Surim.
This is still the parable that Bilam is saying to the.
Yes. Right. So now starts the blessing. The previous verse says I can't curse, right? But that doesn't mean I'm going to bless. Now he's giving blessing, right? So he's saying that I see from its origins, I see it rock-like. I look at their origins, in the beginning of their roots, and I see that they're entrenched, and they're strong, like these rocks and hills, by means of their patriarchs and their matriarchs. In other words, they come from good stock. That's what I see. All right? Continue Rashi. Hein levada v'yishkain. Behold, they're a nation that dwell alone in solitude. And this is what their ancestors earned for it. Lishkain bada, to dwell in solitude alone. Kitargumai, as Onkelos understands it, that these people are alone, destined to take possession of the world. Whoa. Right? To bring godliness to the world. That's what they're destined. Yeah, you got it? Which is a huge blessing. Right? And they don't reckon with the nations. This should be understood. Targum according to Onkelos' understanding, they will not be annihilated. With the other nations. Shenemar, other nations are going to get annihilated.
All the other nations.
Yeah. The Egyptians came, they're no longer the same Egyptians today. The Greeks came, they're not the same Greeks today. The Romans, they're not the same. Byzantians, the Persians, the Assyrians, they all came and they're all gone. Yeah. Shenemar, as it says, yes, it called them goyim. Game if I will affect annihilation among all the nations. And this verse alludes to the fact that at that time they are not counted with the rest of the nations.
So Bilam is saying all this.
Yeah.
Balak must be a little bit upset.
Yeah, I wouldn't follow it.
Number 10, he's not finished. Not finished. Let's continue with the blessings first. You have time to be upset. God forbid. Miman of Yaakov, who counts the dust of Jacob, a misbar is Reuven, and the number of the fourth of Israel, Thomas Nafshi, my soul should die. Moisi Sharim, a straight death, an upright death.
Right.
10. Usi Achri Yisi Kamayu, and that my end should be like his.
Rashi.
Yeah, we just did number 10 in the verse. Now we're going to Rashi, number 10. Mimon of Yaakov, who counts the dust of Yaakov, should be understood. Onkelos is the way he explains it. What is that? The Dad Kiyaya, the base Yaakov Chulu. Who can count and tender the young of the house of Jacob? Now, they're going to be numerous as dust of the earth, right? How can you count them?
6 stars. finding distinction.
Sorry. Yes, who can attend to the young of the house of Jacob? Chada ma'arba misharyosa mi'arba digolim. This is one of the four divisions in which the Israelites encamped in the wilderness. Remember, there were four sides, and you
Yeah,
had three tribes on each, right? So this is what it means, and exactly how you get that from these words.
but there's another explanation.
Yeah, davar acher, another explanation. Offer Yaakov, the dust of Yaakov implies ein cheshbon. There's no calculation. The commandments that they fulfill. Offer with dust. It's soil, for example. Lo yisachresh b'shor b'chamor. Do not plow an ox and a donkey together. Right, that's a mitzvah. Lo yisizra koloim. Don't plant with mixed seed. Afar para, the ashes of the para, afar seita, and the dust of the seita, behem, and similar things that the Torah tells us. Right. So this explanation is telling us who can count. In other words, who can count their mitzvahs? Their mitzvahs, even the earthy mitzvahs, are so plenty that they do.
That relates to him saying like the dust of the universe is dust.
Yeah,
Because dust is from the earth.
because
Well, there's even a quarter of Israel that's dividing it in four.
well, that we're not explaining that right now, right? Misbar is Reve Israel. Next Rashi, the numbered. So Reve Israel means the mating of Israel. Revioy Sehem, their conjugal mating. Zera Yotzi min Atashmi Shalem, the offspring that emerges from their relations. Right. In other words,
For their descendants.
okay. My soul should die an upright death. Shebehem among them. In other words, he wants to be part of the Jewish people. Balak Bilam. Now you have the reply of Balak to Bilam after he blessed the Jewish people. Masi, so what did you do to me? I took lekoiv to curse. Oivai, my enemies. I took you. And you have blessed them. And he responded and he said, did I not say that which God will put in my mouth, that's what I will speak? Right? Let's see from the Rebbe. Okay, folks?
I like the one when. Water.
Yeah.
Around them.
Yeah. That's a good one. That was last year.
Not people they were just going off another edge. Understand though that they knew that they were crossing the sea, that God performed that miracle. Why would they cry? They knew God did that. But the faith.
So Rashi and who can count the dust of Yaakov? The second explanation, he said that they are the count of the mitzvahs that the Jewish people fulfill with the earth, right? Like not having an ox and a donkey in the same harness.
That's the remedy.
I'm giving you. First, I'm just repeating what Rashi just said, right?
Okay.
Second explanation over here, right? This explanation over here. You see it? No. Second explanation in 10. Right. So he said that there isn't a count for the mitzvahs that the Jews fulfill. Right. So commentators ask on Rashi, Ibn Bachaya, Imre Shefer, Rebbe Toiv, right, and others, they ask a question: what do you mean that there isn't a count for the mitzvahs that we do with earthy mitzvahs? There's only 613 mitzvahs to begin with.
Yeah.
So that itself is a count, right? So it's a limited number. So why are you saying that it's a limitless number? So we can say that the intent of Rashi here is ein cheshbon b'mitzvahs, when he said that there is an accounting for the mitzvahs. He doesn't mean the mitzvahs that are fulfilled merely with the earth. Shemitzvahs elahim akifais v'ni chaves.
Question.
1 second, just in the middle. So it doesn't mean it means that the mitzvah is something that is always something that you can do the mitzvah. It doesn't mean that there's the amount of mitzvahs. That's how the Rebbe explains. Yes, David.
The last sentence in all of you 11, it said, "V'asiti le'lakov ayvei v'lakachtecha ve'inei v'harta v'harta." So I want to understand, "V'asita le'lakov."
Kol
And I
means a
took
curse.
it to curse. So it's so interesting because Lakov has the same letters as Balak. In the name Balak, we see
Mm-hmm.
hidden the essence of
Of curse.
cursing.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And yet, the Parsha is called Balak. I mean, he came into history, and the Parsha was named after him. I guess it's because in Balak, Bet is the first letter, which is Racha. So it turned out to be through him, through Bilam,
Right.
ended up at Racha. But the whole idea of Lakov is to curse. He was in essence of cursing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, so the two evil people, Bilam and Amalek. Yeah. You write down Bilam and Amalek. Sorry, this is all the thing I had. Bilam on top, Amalek on the bottom. If you read this way, the two letters, yeah, Bilam and Amalek. See it? See what I'm saying? Here it's written Amalek. Here it's written Bilam. I mean Bilam and then Amalek. If you read base ayin, mem ayin mem, base lamed rather. So you have Bilam, and then you have Amalek. They're intertwined with each other. See that?
So the Rebbe is saying that what he means by the number, like the
Doesn't mean literally how many numbers of the mitzvahs.
Yeah.
It means the opportunity of doing the mitzvah.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Tanya coming up in a few moments.
So the most